In the back of my mind, you died. What's up, everybody? It is David here. We are back with another David Prayers video. I know it's been a minute. Just got back from performing at the Keysssss concert. Shout out to Keysssss. But shout out to Jesus too. Today I'm gonna talk about imposter syndrome as a Christian, especially in my eyes, how I view it. Sometimes, especially me doing music and things like that, it kind of gets hard to kind of navigate the bridge between your faith and your flesh.
He said, everyone, I'm in a song crisis right now. And somebody says, drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste Hernandez.
Not only did he do it, he named his tour Withered. Withered, bro. And I was at the concert. And it was definitely a sacrifice. I'm starting to think the tour itself is a ritual. And I'm scared.
At this point, it is guilty until proven innocent, because why was he dropping Easter eggs every step of the way? On September 7th, David announced that he would be dropping a brand new album with 15 songs on it. But keep in mind, September 7th was the day that Celeste turned 15 years old.
I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died.
The story of David right now isn't just another celebrity scandal, it's bigger than gossip. It's about how online culture, music, fame, and the realities that young people face all crash into each other. For a while, David's journey looked like one of those perfect Gen Z success stories. A kid making music on his phone, breaking through without the industry machine, and turning it into real chart success. People rooted for him because he felt authentic, like proof that talent and the internet could open doors.
So basically, I played Fortnite from 2017 to 2021. I became a YouTuber. I was playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, all these different type of games to try to become like the biggest next thing, streamer, Keysssss, everything. Songs have an algorithm to them. So let's say 2 people use, I don't know, Halo, and then 3 people use them, 4 people use them. That song, if you hear it in enough videos, your video will be the one that goes up. I don't know how it works, but on YouTube, that's how it works for Fortnite.
So you literally, nothing changed in what you were doing. All you did was put one song in.
Put a song in a video. And I made the song called You and I, which now has, what, 94 million streams. It's my second song I ever made. Put it in the montage, and I tagged it on Twitter. First Fortnite player to use his own song in a video. That was the title. And, bro, everyone was using the song after that day. Like, the Fortnite streamers that I was watching and looked up to were using my song. Everybody was using my song, bro. It's crazy, because it was royalty free. Because nobody's getting copyright strikes.
But then came the news that changed everything. The body of teenager Celeste Rivas was found in a Tesla linked to David. The discovery just sent shockwaves through his fan base, rattled the way that the music industry likes to frame these stories, and dragged attention back to the risk that comes with being young, online, and vulnerable.
We now know the body found inside the front trunk of a Tesla at a Hollywood tow yard belonged to 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. The car where she was found registered to David Anthony Burke, a 20-year-old singer who goes by David. Take a look. This video shows crime scene investigators carrying out a laptop and other items from this home on Doheny Place as possible evidence connected to the missing teen's disappearance and death. Police remaining very tight-lipped about the investigation, but we now know this home is where the singer was staying.
Before I go on, let me introduce myself. Hi guys, my name is Jewel and I speak about whatever I want to speak about. So I do video essays, documentaries, commentaries, whatever. So if video essays are your cup of tea and you would like to see me next time, kindly like, share, subscribe if you care. And that being said, let's get straight into this video. Before I get into this video, disclaimer, because this discussion is based on publicly available information, reports, and online speculation. None of the claims about David's connection to Celeste Rivas has been proven in court, so as of now he has not yet been charged with any crime. The analysis of his music, online activity, and personal life just reflects how people online and internet sleuths are interpreting events, not verified facts. This content is for commentary and informational purpose only, and it should not be taken as a statement of guilt. Okay, he's innocent till video is proven in court, but at this point what's going to be proven in court, we don't know. But anyways, let's get straight into this video because yeah, yo, I cannot really believe what the fuck is going on. I cannot believe what's going on because I listen to David and this happening, it feels like I'm watching a movie or something. But before I get into it, let's just speak about his early life and musical beginnings. David Anthony Burke, better known as David, was born in Queens, New York before his family eventually settled in Houston, Texas. His childhood was shaped by a mix of faith, discipline, and just being kept close to home by his parents. So basically, he was like a sheltered kid. For much of his early life, he was homeschooled, which he later admitted just let him feeling cut off from the outside world. That sense of isolation just pushed him towards the internet, where he found both friends and a creative outlet.
Like what the mentality is behind deciding to sort of educate in a more intimate environment and how that affected the artist you are, because I'm referring to Billy and Phineas.
Well, it's interesting. No, I haven't talked about it yet. I feel like there's some conscious sauce that I don't want to question at all, right? Because it's like, if I try to crack a code that's not supposed to be cracked, it's like makes the authenticity go away. But I feel like we've all tapped into something birthed from isolation. Not that they were isolated, but I think I definitely was. And that helped me find myself as an individual. And that definitely showed in the music because I had no influence over my sound. I had no influence over my melodies.
That's incredibly mature.
Gaming, especially Fortnite, became more than just a pastime. It was his way of just connecting with people and just carving out a space for himself. Fortnite also turned out to be the unlikely reason that he started making music. He had been uploading gameplay videos, but copyright claims kept blocking his content. His mom offered a simple solution because he went to his mom crying, and his mom was like, okay, why not you just make your own music? And what started as this quick fix just turned into the beginning of his career. Literally, he accidentally got into music. He didn't have access to studios or expensive equipment. Instead, he pulled out his iPhone, he downloaded BandLab, that is a free music software, and he turned his sister's closet into a recording booth. The space was tiny and it was improvised, but you know what? It worked. He recorded tracks after tracks in that closet, and he experimented with sounds and teaching himself the basics of production. Like, I watched the video, he said he watched so many videos just to learn music.
Songs have an algorithm to them. So let's say 2 people use, I don't know, Halo, and then 3 people use them, 4 people use them. That song, if you hear it in enough videos, your video will be the one that goes up. I don't know how it works, but on YouTube, that's how it works for Fortnite.
So you literally, nothing changed in what you were doing. All you did was put one song in.
Put a song in a video. And I made the song called You and I, which now has, 94 million streams. It's my second song I ever made. Put it in the montage, and I tagged it on Twitter. First Fortnite player to use his own song in the video. That was the title. And bro, everyone was using the song after that day. Like the Fortnite streamers that I was watching and looked up to were using my song. Everybody was using my song, bro. It's crazy because it was royalty free. Because nobody's getting copyright strike.
And one thing about him is that he, on his YouTube channel, he'll be like, how I made this song. How I made this song with Kali Uchis.
Everybody, my name is David, and today I'm about to tell y'all how I made Crashing with Kali Uchis. Yes, thirsty. It all comes, it all comes crashing down. I'm my own engineer. Who you know doing? Yeah, a lot of people do that, my bad. Baby, I've been asleep for far too long.
Yo, I am pissed off. I am angry. I am disappointed because all this should have been cut from the beginning. It should never have happened, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So the music, when it came to David, the music that came out of it was stripped back and unpolished, but it had something that people connected with, and you could hear how personal it was, almost like he was sitting in the room with you. That DIY start ended up like shaping the way that people actually saw him. Fans weren't just listening to songs, they were watching a teenager with no industry support just create something real from the ground up. At a time when mainstream music often felt like overproduced and distant, his tracks sounded close, emotional, and genuine. And for a lot of listeners, literally, I'm just finding out that most of his fans were like underage people. I never knew that because I love his music and I love like alternative music that people consider gory. Like, I love Baby Storm. I listen to Baby Storm music. And at this point, she has a song about graveyard. And at this point, what if I just hear that she buried someone in the grave or buried someone alive? Like, what? I know many people do not like alternative music, but I like alternative music and underground music because I connect with them. And I'm just literally finding out that most of his fans are underage, and that is so scary. That is literally so scary, because you know when you listen to music and you just do not like think that most of the music is listened to, or the person that sang the song is literally an alleged PDF file. Literally, that is where I am right now, and it breaks my heart, honestly. Anyways, let's just continue. So basically, for a lot of Gen Z listeners, David was proof that you didn't need money or connections to just break through. You just need a phone, an idea, and the nerve to put it out there. Let's talk about his breakout and the milestones that he had in his career, because the moment that changed everything for David came in 2022 with the release of his song Romantic Homicide, which... So basically, this song was one of the songs that seemed to take on a life of its own almost overnight. The production was bare and moody, and the lyrics were dramatic and a little haunting. I'm scared. It feels like you don't care. And it sounded like something that could only come from someone, especially a teenager, just recording in his bedroom rather than like a high budget studio. TikTok did the rest, because clips of the songs, they were just everywhere. There were backdrops to breakup edits, anime scenes, endless memes, and the more people used it, the faster it spread, until it felt like you couldn't just scroll for 5 minutes without hearing that damn song. Anyways, the song broke out of social media and onto the charts, and it cemented itself as an anthem for Gen Z listeners who crave something raw and unpolished. What started as a track made for a gaming video had turned into a global hit, and suddenly labels were paying attention. That same year, David signed with Darkroom and Interscope Records, and it's the same team that helped launch Billie Eilish's career. Anyways, the deal gave Romantic Homicide a second life with radio play and playlist placement that pushed it far beyond TikTok. What could have been a one-hit wonder, it just started to become the start of his actual career. And instead of fading after his viral success, David just kept building. His EP Petals to Thorns literally proved that he wasn't just like a one-hit wonder. He literally had a sound that could just stretch into different moods and genres while still feeling true to his style. And by the time he released his first full album, Withered, in 2025 this year, he had moved into collaborations with both internet-born artists like himself and more established names in pop and R&B. He had a collaboration with Kali Uchis. He opened for Caesar.
Do I love you? No. Yo. Yo, oh my god, you guys. This collaboration just gave him credibility with people that have been listening to him all this while still just keeping him rooted in the music space that made him. Through it all, he kept circling back to the same themes, and the theme about David's songs are mostly like loneliness, heartbreak, teenage anxiety, and the search for connection. But now in 2025, I'm going to do a breakdown of the 5 songs that he put out that are related to Celeste. But in 2025, I guess it was more than that. People, they noted that even as his production grew more polished, that he didn't completely like drop the do-it-yourself approach that made him stand out in the first place. So anyways, by 2025, David just wasn't like a Fortnite kid who just made a sad song. Like literally 2 weeks ago, he even has a song with Fortnite. He partnered with Fortnite, and he was one of the clearest examples of how music careers can just be built from the internet outward, not the other way around, because it's very hard for you to see streamers become successful musicians. Like look at DDG. DDG is still struggling. He's still struggling to become a musician, and this guy made it out. Anyways, let's speak about the Celeste Rivas story, because Celeste Rivas, she was meant to be 15 years on the 7th of September, but her body was found on the 8th of September, and she went missing from Lake Elsinore in California on April 5th, 2024. So she went missing when she was 13 years old. 13. That's when she went missing. I'm tired of people saying that she's 15. No, she went missing when she was 13 years. And although people have been seeing her online and everything till she was 14. When she turned 15,
2015, she was already dead, allegedly. So basically, her family described her as this person that was bright, bubbly, and full of energy, but they also shared that she had a history of running away. Each time, we'll speak about her family later on in this video, because I'm not sparing anybody. I'm not sparing anybody in this video. Like, I'm not sparing anybody. But anyways, each time before, she always came back home anytime she ran away. And that last time, she didn't come back. At first, her disappearance got some coverage locally, but it barely registered outside her community until much later. The connection to David only became public more than a year later, that is this month, when investigators discovered Celeste remains in the trunk of a Tesla registered to him. The body was badly decomposed and the identification came through DNA testing.
Details are coming into our newsroom about the missing girl found dead in singer David's Tesla. We now know police have searched a home in the Hollywood Hills where David had been living.
Eyewitness News reporter Monica DeAnda joins us live from Hollywood with the very latest. Monica.
Colleen, Phillip, good morning. Take a look here behind me. This home is where David was living, although he does not own the home. LAPD investigators served a search warrant here last night, collecting evidence. Right now, however, this is only being called a death investigation and not a homicide. And we're told that is because the LA County Medical Examiner's Office is still working to determine how exactly this teen girl died. We now know the body found inside the front trunk of a Tesla at a Hollywood tow yard belonged to 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. The car where she was found registered to David Anthony Burke, a 20-year-old singer who goes by David. Take a look. This video shows crime scene investigators carrying out a laptop and other items from this home on Doheny Place as possible evidence connected to the missing teen's disappearance and death. Police remaining very tight-lipped about the investigation, but we now know this home is where the singer was staying. One neighbor we spoke to remembers seeing that distinct Tesla for a while. First, parked in front of the house police searched, and then at two different spots along the street.
It's a little weird to see a car that I haven't seen here for a long time. Had a big dent on it, had a Texas plate on it. So all a little odd, but at the same time, you know, people could be hanging out with friends for a long time.
The victim, 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, was first reported missing from Lake Elsinore in early 2024. Eyewitness News learned she ran away a few times and returned before her last runaway in April of 2024. The teen had not been heard from since until September 8th, when the authorities discovered her body inside of that Tesla.
She just seemed very lively and friendly. I just hope that the truth comes out and she gets justice for what happened to her.
Good to have you. Do we know how long Celeste's body was in that Tesla?
That is a big question at this point, Ashley. What we do know is that the car was impounded on the 5th of September. The police discovered the body in the Tesla on the 8th of September. Now, we also know that the car had been abandoned on that street in the Hollywood Hills for at least 3 days before it was impounded. We've also spoken to neighbors in that area who said that there were people who had walked by the car and had noticed a bad odor, and that they kind of thought it was either a dead animal somewhere, either under the car or near the car. But when they called the police to report this car abandoned, they didn't mention the odor. They just thought it was a dead animal somewhere in the area. And then, of course, the police had the car in the impound yard for a couple of days before suddenly someone there was like, yeah, there's something off here. And that's when they opened that front hatch on the Tesla and found the bag with the body parts.
And they call that the frunk, if I'm not mistaken, in the front of the Tesla. It's like the trunk in the front, so to speak. But that's a really good point of forensic interest, that there was someone who noticed something that didn't smell right when the car was abandoned on that California street. So that would indicate that the body was in there probably prior to the impound lot. Are they able to determine how Celeste died at this point?
The medical examiner has said that the cause of death is deferred. Meaning they have not been able to figure it out at this point, and there's going to be further toxicology testing. It may just be that, remember, what was put in that bag, the body had been dismembered, and maybe they don't have enough at this point to positively say this was the cause of death. It sounds weird to say they don't have a cause of death because, look, it's LAPD robbery homicide that is investigating. the body being dismembered would lead one to believe that this is a homicide. But, you know, they just don't have that forensically yet. They can't say for sure what the cause of death is.
There's a tattoo on her finger that read "shh," and this tattoo also played a role in confirming that it was her.
And not to be too graphic, but it's important for the investigation and obviously for the autopsy as well. She was not found in her complete, her complete body wasn't found. These were parts. And if I'm not mistaken, was it a head and a torso and that's it?
Yeah, there was also, there were, I don't want this, you're right, this is just very grisly to say, but I don't know if they had all the limbs. They certainly had some of them because the police did say that she had this tattoo, which is very interesting, something we found out, but she had a tattoo on her right index finger that said the letters SHHH ... And that was on her right index finger. We had actually spoken to Celeste's mother last week. And at that point, the police had said that the tattoo was there, but the mom told us more information, which the police had not released, which was that the tattoo was in red ink.
I heard some people say, oh, it's not only her that has a tattoo, even Rihanna has it, blah, blah, blah. But David also has that tattoo, and she also had that tattoo. And how does a 13-year-old child have a tattoo? My first tattoo was when I was 25.
Okay, Rihanna had that tattoo too. Rihanna had that tattoo. There are pictures confirming that that was his girlfriend. There are literal messages where she herself says that they slept together. There are pictures of him paying these kids off. There is a leaked song named Celeste where he name drops Celeste twice and says that he loves her. There are videos of her caressing his face. That nigga likes kids. That nigga likes kids!
But what unsettled people even more was that David himself, like I said, he had the same tattoo, and this sparked endless speculation about what kind of connection that they might have had. So far, there is no confirmed story about how Celeste and David met or whether they had any direct relationship at all. Officially, there is no confirmed story, but there are so many proofs out there on the internet, so many videos, so many screenshots. They are all alleged, but officially, there is nothing confirmed. Even law enforcement, they've not said much, but obviously we have the online investigators and fans that have quickly connected the dots, and there is also an unreleased demo allegedly recorded by David called Celeste, and that song has started circulating, and we have lyrics that are being dissected by people, and these lyrics, people have interpreted it as something that is being obsessive.
Girl with my name tattooed on a shirt. I'm upset. I love you so much.
Other people pointed to pictures of him spotted in Lake Elsinore around the time that Celeste vanished, and this is also close to her neighborhood, and there's also a handful of leaked photos that even appear to show the two of them together, though none of those images have been verified. There's even a picture of him allegedly trying to bribe an underage child not to tell people about Celeste, and someone took a picture of him handing the person money. Celeste's mother told reporters that her daughter had been dating someone named David before she disappeared. Since David's real name is David Burke, that obviously was a huge clue, and that detail just hit especially hard, and it literally fueled even more speculation. But again, none of this has been confirmed by police. As of now, there is still no official word that David and Celeste were in a relationship or even knew each other directly. At least from when I'm recording this, there's no, official that's come out to say this. Everything I'm speaking about now is what has been gathered on the internet and what we've seen. I'm seeing that David is guilty. Anyways, the investigation has been very serious. Police, they have carried out searches in areas that have been connected to where the car was found. They've seized computers and other devices that could hold evidence, and the coroner has not yet determined how or when Celeste died, and they've listed the cause of the death as deferred because of the status of her remains. Yo, my heart bleeds, like what the fuck. What's left is just this heartbreaking story that has been filled with questions and very few answers. The fact that Celeste's body was discovered in a vehicle tied to one of of the biggest breakout artists of her generation, has just pushed this case into the mainstream. But the most important part, that's the truth about what happened to her, it remains unhidden and it remains caught between official silence and the noise of online speculation. So that being said, let's talk about the timeline of the controversy. Yeah. So Celeste Rivas went missing in April 2024. For more than a year, nothing really moved forward. Her family kept searching, but without new leads, the case stalled. That changed on September 8, 2025, when workers at Hollywood impound lots just noticed a horrible smell coming from a Tesla that had been sitting there for days. How can you be so stupid? Let's even start from there. How can you be so stupid? So anyways, when they called the police opened the car and found Celeste's body in the front trunk, and there was DNA testing that was confirmed that it was literally her, and the coroner said that she likely died around the same time that the car was abandoned. The story blew up once people realized that the Tesla was registered to David Burke, who we all know as David. And D4VD, now I'm looking at it, when I'm looking at it, like, my side eye sees dead. The way his name is written, my side eye, when you look at it, like, when I was like doing my research and like everything, like my side eye, when you look at his name from your side eye, it looks like dead, or like subconsciously it looks like dead. That's one thing I noticed, and that hit so hard, especially because Celeste's mom had said that her daughter was seeing someone named David before she disappeared. If your daughter was seeing someone named David, why didn't you want to vet the person your daughter was seeing? And the overlap was just enough to just set the internet on fire. From there, people online just went into overdrive because they picked apart everything: the tattoos, her clothes, the state of her body, even supposed Discord screenshots. There have been rumors, there have been theories, there have been half-baked timelines that have spread across TikTok, Reddit, and Twitter, with everyone just trying to connect dots that the police have not yet confirmed. Again, I tried to build my platform on integrity, so everything here is alleged. There's been no official claim, and like I said, this guy is innocent, you're proven guilty, and I want to see how you'll be proven innocent. But anyways, David's team, they put out a statement saying that he's cooperating fully with the investigation. So as of now that I'm recording, he hasn't been named a suspect and no charges have been filed. Although before recording, I saw that he's been arrested for alleged murder. I have to confirm that. Even so, the fallout has been so massive. His tour is on pause, shows have been cancelled, and for now his name is tied to this case more than his music. I didn't even know it was on tour. Fucking hell. Like, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So that being said, let's talk about the role of family and neglect in Celeste's story. Like I said, nobody is going scot-free because this girl was just a baby. It's very impossible to talk about Celeste's case without acknowledging the adults who were supposed to protect her. Celeste was only 15. She's still very much a child, but the way her life unfolded just makes it clear that she wasn't even getting the support that she needed at home. Her mother herself admitted that Celeste had a pattern of running away, and instead of that being treated as a red flag, it almost seemed to be accepted as part of who she was. I'm not here trying to throw fingers or throw blames, but let's be realistic, and maybe this could be a learning curve for other moms who may be watching me, that your child or your teenage daughter or your teenage son runs away. A teenager does not repeatedly run away for no reason. Those actions usually points to deeper problems, whether it's conflicts at home, whether it's emotional struggles or met needs for safety and stability. Each time she comes back, it should have been a signal for intervention, counseling, or some kind of support. Instead, those moments passed without serious change until one day she left and she never returned. Allegedly, I heard that her sister pimped her out. I don't know how true that is. Her sister too has been mentioned in her account, but not as a steady protective figure. Older siblings often become anchors in chaotic homes, stepping in where parents can or won't, and in Celeste's case, that sense of protection just seems to have been missing. The adults in her immediate world didn't even close ranks around her. They did not set firm boundaries, in my own opinion, and they did not recognize the danger that she was in, because at the age of 11, let's not forget that this all happened when she was 11 going on 12 years. Yeah, how are you leaving the house? How are you leaving the house? That absence just left Celeste exposed to the internet, to older people, to older influences, and to situations that she wasn't prepared to navigate. It's very uncomfortable but necessary to say this, because while the focus is rightly on how her life ended and on David's possible involvement, her story also shows what happens when family neglect just goes unaddressed. A vulnerable teenager without solid guidance becomes easier prey for unhealthy relationships and dangerous dynamics. Celeste shouldn't have been in a position to cross paths with a rising star in the first place. I have been standing the weekend since I was 16 years old. I have never seen him a day in my life. Stronger parenting, real involvement from her mother and her sister, and a closer eye on her online and offline life might not have erased every risk, but it could have given her more protection. Celeste's tragedy is not about what may have happened to her in the end. It's also about what didn't happen for her along the way. The love and protection that she needed were not consistent enough, in my own opinion, and the cracks in her home light just widened until she slipped through them completely. When we talk about accountability, it can't just be about artists, labels, or even law enforcement. It has to include the role of family and how neglect at home literally creates that very vulnerabilities that predators and dangerous situations take advantage on. Now let's go into the allegation and the evidence, and I'm going to speak about the facts versus speculation. So since Celeste's body was found, a flood of claims and so-called receipts has been making the rounds online. One of the biggest involved screenshots of Discord messages that allegedly shows conversation between her and David. Some people say that the chat points to a very close relationship, maybe even grooming. And in my own opinion, if this is true, this guy groomed this girl since she was 11, alleged. The problem is none of these screenshots have been verified yet. Police have not confirmed them, and obviously mainstream news outlets have warned against treating them as hard evidence. But photos of Celeste and David with matching tattoos have also circulated, and this has fueled speculations about a deeper connection. But this tattoo design isn't unique to them. Like I said earlier, it's something plenty of other fans and other celebrities have also done. Rihanna has done it. I think Britney Spears has done it. Without confirmation, it's very impossible to say whether the tattoos prove anything at all. The rumors, they do not stop there. They've been leaked demo tracks that included an unreleased song supposedly called Celeste, and this has been shared online. People argue over whether the lyrics are coded messages about her, pointing out themes of secrecy, regret, and obsession. So many fans and so many critical people, they have actually picked apart lines from his other songs as if they were confessions that have been hidden in plain sight, which I said we'll speak about later on in this video. At the same time, people claiming to have known Celeste through online spaces say that she wasn't the only underage fan that he spoke to, though these accounts also have not been backed up by solid proof. What is confirmed so far is fairly limited. The Tesla where Celeste's body was found was registered to David, though reports said that it was used by others in his circle because again it was on tour. He could have asked someone to do it. Anyways, Celeste's time and death remain undetermined, with the medical examiner officially marking both as deferred, and beyond statement through his rep saying that he's cooperating with the police, David hasn't publicly spoken out about this case, and the gap between rumor and fact is wide. Right now, the story lives in this messy place where official updates are slow and people online are very quick to fill the silence with their own theories.
Not only did he do it, he named his tour Withered. Withered, bro. And I was at the concert. And it was definitely a sacrifice. I'm starting to think the tour itself is a ritual, and I'm scared.
That's when you thought the David case couldn't get any worse. One of Celeste's teachers spoke up. A student recorded it in class. One of her teachers who used to teach her was talking about the whole situation. Apparently he knew the whole time in terms of that she was dating David. Now, if the teacher knew exactly who he was, we don't know. But he definitely knew that she was dating someone way older than him. People were talking about it, gossiping in the class. He also spoke about how she went missing twice. Once, I believe he said it was in August, and she went missing for a month. Police found her. She was in Hollywood. They didn't say with who. They found her in Hollywood. Brought her back. When she came back to school, the teacher said that she was gossiping. Oh yeah, I met this rapper guy, the singer guy, David. Yada, yada, yada. I was with him, yada, yada. I know how kids gossip. Later on in May, she goes missing again. This time, this is the last time she came back. Last time she saw her. Mind you, he has some type of receipts on his phone. Pictures or something. I can't see clearly just because of how far the video was in the classroom. He's showing the classroom something, like showing screenshots, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to make an assumption, but why did he not call the police or inform somebody? All this was going on. She was dating someone way older than her. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he did. Maybe he did. But that's crazy, bro. And I really wonder how much evidence can be used in court. This shit even admissible. Y'all on the internet really be some detectives. Y'all be finding shit that police can never even find themselves sometimes. In my opinion, y'all finding some solid shit. That doesn't mean it can be used in court. You know what I'm saying? Even though we got all this type of evidence, wonder what they can actually use in court to stick it on him. You know what I'm saying? He's not even in police custody right now. We don't know where he is. Hope this shit get wrapped up soon. If you want to see the video, it's right here. Mind you, do not get any of your news from Rap House TV. Don't go thinking I got my information from this. He just happened to also post a video. It was the first one that popped up when I typed it in. You can see.
How did so many people know about David and Celeste and didn't say anything until now? Hold my hand. Y'all don't see women as victims until they're dead.
It's a real conversation that happened. And the irony of it was that person that was saying, I love you, she's not in my life anymore. So it's like people say that the string can't be cut and the connection cannot be severed, but I feel like it can sometimes. I really wanted the listeners to feel like they're reading a book almost, and they get into a different chapter with every song. But there's also that kind of pause where they can take every song in by itself and then have this kind of visual landscape in this interlude to kind of be in my head, in my mindset, and why I wrote the project like this and how everything went, just to like keep them even more interested and connected throughout the project for sure.
At the end of the interlude, correct me if I'm wrong here, she says, I love you. You don't respond. She says, I love you again. It repeats itself and you don't respond. Was that done purposely?
Absolutely, because the next song after that is This Really Love? So it's kind of like a lead into that kind of a transition type thing, you know?
It's kind of like that, I loved you before I existed and I love you even when I die. Yes. But yeah, it's weird, it's strange, it's unpredictable. Yeah. So don't leave me. Please. You got it. Okay. You got it. All right. I love you. I love you.
No one has said this, but that girl that went missing, Celeste, get her mom in jail. Get her mom in jail right now. Her and David. Because I'm trying to understand why your 13-year-old child had a tattoo. Not only a tattoo, a matching tattoo with this guy who is an adult, who is her boyfriend. But when you told authorities, you said that you didn't know like what he looked like. You didn't know anything about this boy. All you knew that she had a boyfriend named David. Why the fuck is your 13-year-old having a boyfriend? Mind you, I don't know about you guys, but at 13-year-old, I didn't even have a fucking period. How the fuck? Like, how the fuck you're... And you would say that she would always run away, but why is your child running away from home? Jail, because it was not it. It's not because you're a good mom, let me tell you that, because you're neglecting your child, because you're gonna tell me your 13-year-old child had a freaking friend, a boyfriend who is an adult. Just don't understand how you didn't care to know who your daughter's friends were, because if you cared to know, or if you actually did something, you would have known that she was hanging out with adults. I also don't understand how your child went missing a year ago, but you never continued posting your child. You never continued saying her name. Like, yeah.
At this point, it is guilty until proven innocent, because why was he dropping Easter eggs every step of the way? On September 7th, David announced that he would be dropping a brand new album with 15 songs on it. But keep in mind, September 7th was the day that Celeste turned 15 years old. He also made this post last year on TikTok saying, "Who had the best outfit in 2016? And look at the comment. Please adopt me, I need it. At 0907. Should we? That's September 7th. So it seems like this might have been Celeste's burner account. And if you look at his Discord chat, someone asked, David, are you happily married or single? Me and @deleted_user got a kid on the way. And you might think this could be anybody. This doesn't prove anything. But this same user has a ring on the finger and a tattoo, or maybe just pen, but it says David right here. And that's not it. Look at the song Decide by David that was dropped in 2022. It says, I know what the problem is. Save your tears, 7 years. I know life is complicated. In 2022, Celeste was 11 years old. 7 years until she was 18. The case is over, it's wraps, lock him up.
Now, that being said, let's talk about the songs and their shadow over the case. What's made the David and Celeste case even more unsettling is the way that his songs now feel like they are sitting right on top of the timeline. I have gone back through his discography and I've pulled apart lyrics that once seemed dramatic but harmless, and I have now read them as if they might be clues, and even the comment section, they agree with my thoughts. So basically, Romantic Homicide is still the song that gets gets the most attention. It's not his most popular song on YouTube, even though his most popular song on YouTube was Here With Me. Romantic Homicide is the song that gave him the most attention. So it was literally his breakout hit, and it was also the track that put him on the map. When it dropped, it was taken as a song about heartbreak, a kind of cold detachment about after being hurt. But after Celeste's body was discovered, those lyrics, in the back of my mind you died and I didn't even cry, literally it sounds so chilling. They were no longer just figurative to me, they were being read as disturbingly literal.
In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry. No, not a single tear.
Then there is the Runaway song. So basically, on the surface, it's about escape and wanting to break free, which fits perfectly into the universal theme of teenage angst. But when you know Celeste had a history of running away from home, the parallels are so impossible to ignore. People on the comment section points to that song as if it was written directly about her, or at least about someone who mirrored her situation. Whether it was coincidence or not, the overlap has made the track feel heavy in hindsight. Other songs like L for F or L for L, which is also Love for Free / Love for Life, has also been dragged into the conversation. So basically, people have latched onto the way those songs deal with love, secrecy, and regrets, and they've treated them as if they could be veiled confessions or references to relationships that people didn't know about. The ambiguity of his lyrics that was once a strength now works against him, because every vague line can be bent to fit a theory about Celeste. And then there is this song, One More Dance. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. When I watched the video of that song, I was like, what the actual fuck? The way that song has been tied to the case is the most disturbing of all. The tracks talk about wanting one last moment, one last connection before everything ends. And when I put those lyrics next to the fact that Celeste's body was found in the trunk of his Tesla, the connection is so eerie. The idea of one more dance before disappearance or death has led to the speculation that the song isn't just metaphorical but connected to real life events. Literally, let me tell you guys something. Someone was put at the trunk of this couple's car and they went around their day acting like everything was fine, and then they buried the person in a ditch, which is just like how Celeste's body was found in his boot. And guess what? He went around doing his tour like nothing ever happened. Whether that's fair or not, the timing and imagery just makes it so hard to listen without feeling unsettled. And that song that he sang called Here With Me. So when Here With Me first dropped, people loved it for it being tender and emotional. It was a song about wanting someone close and never letting them go. It was soft, almost comforting. It was the kind of track that people just tied to their own relationship. But after Celeste's death, those same lyrics just feel different. What once read as romantic now sounds unsettling. It's basically an attachment that edges into obsession, especially knowing that her body was later found in his car. Oh my god, I also noticed something else. In performances and visuals, David often features girls who look strikingly similar to Celeste, and paired with a song like Here With Me, which centers on permanence and not letting go, the resemblance only makes the connection more disturbing. Whether this is intentional or coincidental, the overlap between his music, his imagery, and Celeste's story just leaves so many people questioning if they've been seeing hints all along. The bigger issue is that music like David thrives on being emotional, dramatic, and open to interpretation. But now every song that he's ever released is being treated as a possible confession or a clue. It shows how quickly art can just change meaning when tragedy just enters the picture. What once felt like relatable heartbreak anthems are now heard as part of a much darker story, with so many people just dissecting each lyrics for answers that the investigation hasn't even provided. Now, this part is so unnecessary, but and I would not say unnecessary because every part of this gets necessary, but all this is alleged. So let's talk about Celeste's relationship and her other boyfriend called Gus, who has been allegedly killed and shot. So basically, another piece of Celeste's story that hasn't received that much attention but matters when talking about her life is the mention of another boyfriend of hers named Gus. According to people close to her, Celeste was allegedly seeing him before or around the time that she went missing, and at the same time she was seeing David. In my own opinion, from all the videos I've seen, this guy was so obsessed with Celeste. So some say that the the relationship was unstable. Others suggest that it may have been another example of how she was spending time with older or questionable figures without strong parental guidance. I don't know how old this Gus is. I don't know how old he is. Nobody knows anything about him. We all know that it's been alleged that he was shot, and the details about Gus, they have been scattered and are not fully confirmed, but the fact that his name just comes up at all just shows how Celeste was moving in circles that just left her so vulnerable. For a 15-year-old, dating someone older or even just someone her age but unsupervised just meant that she was navigating relationships without the support structures that most teenagers need. When family oversight is weak, these kinds of connection can grow unchecked, and they often put children in situations that they are not emotionally or physically prepared for. Whether Gus was just another teenage boyfriend or someone who had more influence over her, his presence in the timeline just complicates things further.
Because look at this song. This song's lyric says, "He might have you, but I've got your ghost." And then if you tie that back to the repost from his TikTok, where it's him chopping up and basically saying how jealous he gets, or he doesn't want to see her with another guy. And then he follows the Goose guy too, or he unfollowed him, I guess, because that's what they were saying. And then after that, you have the leaked text messages of her friend and him talking, where Celeste confirmed that she was having a relationship with this Goose dude too.
Why is a 13-year-old having like a boyfriend? And even if he has a boyfriend, why is their relationship not being supervised? I do not get it. It just shows that Celeste's life before her disappearance was not stable, and that multiple relationships, secrets, and blood boundaries surrounded her. In cases like this, every connection matters, and each one just raises questions about who was aware of her situation, who could have stepped in, and who might carry some responsibilities from the risk that she faced. What's clear is that Celeste didn't have the kind of environment where adults or even peers or her friends were watching out for her safety. Her involvement with Gus alongside the alleged overlap with David points to a pattern. And what's that pattern? The pattern is basically a young girl navigating relationship without the kind of structure and protection that might have kept her safe. That being said, let's speak about everybody's response. So I'm going to speak about the public and the industry response, because the reaction to this case has been immediate and so overwhelming. The news has felt like literally a betrayal. I'm not his fan. His song just, I use YouTube music, and when you listen to one kind of music, it's like YouTube knows your head or what you need next, and they just play his songs. So I'm never I didn't even know that the person that sang that song was called David. Like, if you ask me who sang this song, I would not know, but I know the song in that case. But within hour of discovery being reported, literally there've been hashtags demanding accountability, and they were trending over TikTok and Twitter. People went from making fan edits with romantic homicides to just dissecting every lyric, every outfit, every appearance, and there've been Reddit threads that have gone wild, with some people just elaborating timelines of David's movement over the past year, while others tried to poke holes in the theory, saying that the internet was rushing to judgment. Yo, excuse me. People knew that this guy was dating someone that was underage, and nobody said anything. I even saw a video of his friend saying, "Oh, I did not know that she was that underage." What do you mean that underage? Underage is underage. This guy is 20. Why didn't he date someone that was 19 or even 18? Why are you? Oh, fucking hell.
I think most of you all know I've known David for about 3.5 years, and the internet knows a 15-year-old girl was found disconfigured in the front of his car. Can't even say 15 because she was 14 when she passed. For those who don't know, David used to be a professional Fortnite player in the team that I was leading, Limit. Back then, I used to make music on my computer. He didn't have a good computer, so I told him about BandLab, and he started making music, and it completely popped off. And David, even before and after fame, he's always been a really, really nice person, like a little bit too nice, like comically nice. And for those who've been following me for a while, you know I used to have this ongoing joke over and over and over again about me dissing on David and us having like fake beef. Literally a year ago today, I posted, "The enemy, no, the enemy is David." And I would always make comments just hating on him because I thought it was funny to portray, I'm jealous of him. It should have been me. And flash forward to today, this is absolutely disgusting. He has known this girl since she was either 11 or 12. That's disgusting. And he kidnapped her for a year and a half, and then she's found dead. And made a mockery of it by mentioning her name in songs, saying, "Oh Celeste, oh Celeste." He uploaded the romantic homicide music video on her 12th birthday. In the music video, he kills a girl that looks just like her. And in his other music videos, using another girl that looks just like her. A 12-year-old. And he was paying off middle schoolers to not say anything. I had some crazy foreshadowing that I even didn't see. This is utterly repulsive. I have nothing to do with the David situation. Yes, I am in his Discord. This is David. This is the victim, Celeste. I've known David for a very long time. Before his music career, I was the leader of his Fortnite clan. That's how we know each other. This victim, Celeste, I don't even remember ever talking to. I don't think I have. I know this means nothing, but she had the 18+ rule. And if you are a multi-platinum artist like David, I don't think you would have a 13-year-old girl around you. But unfortunately, I was wrong. A year ago, I was publicly saying that David was the enemy. Check the dates. Check the dates. Remember the enemy 2 years ago. Never listening to David again. This is a video from us back in 2023. We talked a couple times on stream, and there are recordings of this. A few of us literally were there like this. Like, we know something, we just can't prove it. And for now 2.5 years, I've been making jokes about this, and this is crazy how
he has turned into this online tug of war, and some people are calling him guilty without hesitation. Others have insisted that the evidence so far does not prove anything. The music industry hasn't been quiet either, because they've been brands that partner with him or were planning collaborations. They've quickly pulled back. Kali Uchi said that she's working on taking down her song that she sang with him. There've been sponsorship that were paused, and there've been tie-ins that have been suspended, and there've been campaigns that have been quietly scrubbed. His peers in music have been split. Some of the people that were following him, they've unfollowed him on social media, and other people have issued statements telling people not to jump to conclusions unless law enforcement finishes the work.
Have you talked about the situation
with David?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
He's not a murderer?
No.
Thank God, bro, because I was still going to listen to his music. I was just worried that I'd be an asshole if I did.
No, listen, he didn't do it. He literally performed the next day. If he was a suspect, the police would have been after him. He's not a suspect.
He's not just escaping the police clutches?
No. And I'm going to perform. We're going to perform on the 20th, me and David.
He didn't kill anybody, bro. He didn't kill anybody. There's no way. There's no way he's been on tour.
First off, I want to retract my statement. Obviously, the other day, I was defending David before all the new evidence came out. I do not condone anything that David has done or is doing. Okay? That shit's wicked and it's just unbelievable. It's been a lot to process. And one more thing. I want to say the girl that I met named Celeste at the Faze house is not the same Celeste that was killed. RIP to that girl.
The silence from certain collaborators has also been loud in its own way, and this has showed just how risky association has become. At the same time, a smaller group of his core fans, they've continued to defend him. I don't understand how you can defend someone like that. And they've said that the backlash is built on speculation and that cancelling him before charges exist is very unfair. But the proof is in the pudding. So that being said, let's look at the unresolved questions. Despite the constant stream of online theories, the facts are still thin. We don't know the exact nature of Celeste's connection to David. We don't know who else had access to the Tesla where her body was found, or whether it was abandoned by him or someone else to him. The medical examiner hasn't also been able to pinpoint her points of death. Even her final moments just shrouded in this level of uncertainty. There have been other questions too. Celeste went missing in April 2024, but her body was not discovered until September 2025, and that gap just raises painful unknowns about where she was during that time, who she might have been with, and what actually happened in those missing months. There have been screenshots of Discord chats that have been alleged, and there have been leaked demos, there have been claims from people who said that they knew her online, and this has kept on like surfacing, but none of it has been verified. For now, investigators are the only one who can sort rumor from fact, and they've repeatedly urged the public to be patient while they do their job. This case has struck a fucking nerve because it's about more than an artist or a teenager. It just exposes how vulnerable young people are when so much of their social life just happens online, and how quickly boundaries between fans and celebrities can fucking collapse. For artists like David, whose audience is made up largely of teenagers, the distance that once existed between the star and the fan, it barely exists anymore. A direct message, a Discord chat, chat or a repost can feel intimate in ways that blur lines that should never have been blurred. The music industry plays a role in this too, because managers, labels, and social media teams, they often push artists to engage directly with fans because it drives loyalty and streams. But the infrastructure to keep those interactions safe is almost non-existent. There aren't meaningful systems in place to monitor who artists are talking to online or to protect minors when those connections cross into unsafe territory. What this case shows is that fame isn't just about the artist, it's about the structures around them and whether those structures do enough to set boundaries and protect vulnerable people. One of the clearest lessons from David and Celeste Rivers' case is that the industry needs more accountability and transparency in how young artists and their teams handle fan relationships, especially when it comes to the underage followers. Fame can happen overnight now, and when it does, the artists, their friends, and their teams are often left to navigate it without proper guidelines or safeguards. That's where the problem takes root. Managers, agents, labels, whoever executive, they need to be more than business handlers. They need to create clear rules and protections around interactions with fans. Zero tolerance policies for exploitation or misconduct should never be optional. They should literally be standard. This isn't just a story about like an individual's choices, it's also about the bigger failures of the systems that surrounds young stars. It shows what happens when the person responsible for guiding artists don't put protections in place for the young fans who look up to them. Without stronger framework for oversight, education, and intervention, cases like this will keep happening. The responsibility has to stretch beyond the individual's artist. It falls on the music industry, on digital platforms, and on cultural institutions to take youth safety seriously, and not as a side concern, but as part of how the business operates. That means building transparent policies, training teams to recognize red flags, and giving minors safer ways to engage with the artists that they do admire, because these are babies, literally. Their frontal cortex has not fully developed. In short, if the industry wants to keep benefiting from parasocial fan culture, it has to take responsibility for the risk that it does create. Otherwise, tragedies like Celeste will remain less an exception and more a predictable outcome of how modern fame works. And also, I do not fucking care. You should have no interaction with a minor. A minor should not be your friend. Talk more of your girlfriend. This case has indeed made me so fucking sick, and I cannot really believe that this is real. I cannot believe that this is real. This feels like I'm watching a fucking movie. Because how do you, as David yourself, how do you build, you've seen where you are, and you're dabbling with a fucking minor, and you're dabbling with a minor? I cannot believe this. I literally cannot believe this. And I feel like he was so obsessed with this girl because he loved Hello Kitty so much, and the girl loved Hello Kitty. I've seen people saying what grown man loves Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty is a universal language. Literally, I have a friend that is obsessed with Hello Kitty. And again, this guy is an alternative artist. He sings alternative songs. And as someone who is alternative to an extent and who listens to alternative music, this pisses me off, because what the fuck is not for anybody. You as an adult, you should have no relationship or no friendship with a minor. The only friendship I have with a minor is my sister, and that's because she's my sister. I don't even play with her friends, like, because we're not friends. Like, you're fucking 20. What is wrong with dating someone or being with someone that's your age mate or at least 2 years older than you? Like, what the fuck? Now let's get to the conclusion, because my blood is boiling. At its core, this case should be a reminder of how fragile the line is between fame and responsibility. The story is not finished and the facts are still unfolding, but the impact is already undeniable. A teenager is gone, a rising star's career is hanging in the balance, and the public is caught between wanting answers and demanding justice. What happens next will matter, not just for David, not just for Celeste's family, but how we think about safety, power, and accountability in a culture where access to celebrity just feels limitless. And again, I'm not blaming the family, but I'm saying that children should be protected at all costs. I'm not saying that this could have erased the possibility, but it could have managed it or controlled it. I am so, literally nobody goes off, even David, who trained you. And you know what's also funny? This guy had a Christian page, and as early as 1st of September, he came and was posting about on his Christian page on how you should trust Jesus and blah blah blah. And the last time Celeste was seen was 24th of August, and being seen last 24th 4th of August shows that possibly Celeste was dead when he came to preach Jesus.
What's up, everybody? It is David here. We are back with another David Prayers video. I know it's been a minute. Just got back from performing at the Keysssss concert. Shout out to Keysssss. But shout out to Jesus too. Today I'm going to talk about imposter syndrome as a Christian, especially in my eyes, how I view it. Sometimes, especially me doing music and things like that, it kind of gets hard to kind of navigate the bridge between your faith and your flesh. And honestly, just being completely transparent, it gets a little shaky on the walk because there's so many different things going on. And we kind of can't get wrapped up in the ebbs and flows of everyday life. And we got to keep on depending on Jesus, especially in like now. Like, the world is crazy. Like, the world is crazy. But I just want to say, do not lose hope. Do not lose your faith. We arrive on this earth with nothing. We spend our years chasing everything. And then we're going to die with nothing. So just make sure your spiritual hands are full before you leave this earth. Read that Bible. Stay in that word. Stay inspired. Stay prayed up. But going back to the imposter syndrome thing, it's like you got to stand on what you believe in no matter what. Standing 10 toes on literally everything, bro. You cannot fold on Jesus. Jesus will not fold on you, so you cannot fold on Jesus. You might be going back to school. I know it's September now, whatever. It's August 31st. But back to school, you're going to have a lot of influences around you. Like, stay focused, bro. That's all I really got to say for this video. It's a short one. The next video, I'm going to talk about some more in-depth stuff. But stay focused. You don't got to be distracted by the... Bro, Jesus got you. You got to have that build a personal relationship with Jesus. Think of it like Jesus and his 12 disciples. His disciples were through all different types of walks of life. Fishermen, tax collectors, people that was like, yo, Jesus, why you hanging out with that? Why you hanging out with him? Jesus does not dwell with people that think they're overly righteous or better than the next man. So when you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh, why Jesus spending time working on me? I'm not worth it. You are worth it. I'm telling you. And you gotta believe that yourself. Like I said, back to the faith. It's all about that belief. I hit the 2:30-minute mark. I love y'all so much. We're gonna keep posting on this account. Shout out to the dude at my concert yesterday that was like, yo, you gotta post on your account because I honestly forgot. So on the off days on tour, I'm gonna be like posting and stuff. So
this whole thing is so disgusting. It's so disgusting. I just cannot, for the life of me, believe that this is happening in real time. Literally. What was this guy thinking? What was he thinking? Anyways, guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking out with me. I'm just going to go and just blow off steam and touch grass. Good thing is I have grass just outside my bedroom door right now. I'm just gonna go and touch some grass because I'm fuming. This should never had happened. Never had happened. Honestly, I am so disappointed in everybody. Everybody failed this girl. Everybody failed this girl. Yes, he shouldn't have done it. But again, protecting from it actually happening would have been a cause. Like, yo, I'm going to go and blow steam and touch some grass and possibly visit my friend and edit in their house because I'm claustrophobic. Like, I don't play with children. I literally do not play with children. I don't play with children. And this happening has made me sick to my fucking stomach. Has made me sick to my fucking stomach. Like, yeah. Anyways, guys, I need to go. I meant to have gone swimming today, but the person I was meant to go with, they have sore throat. So I'm just going to call the center and reschedule. But yeah, I'm learning how to swim, guys. I really do not know how to swim, so I'm learning how to swim today, and I want to see if I would pay monthly so that I would, become an Olympian. Oh my god. But yo, if you enjoyed this, please kindly like, share, subscribe if you care, and I really do hope you care. And that being said, see you guys soon. Bye bye.
Hold up. That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because He's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was this?
We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper, that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media. Let me tell you another story. Hold on.
I think David wanted Celeste's body to be found on her 15th birthday. Everything I say in this video is alleged and opinion based on speculation of internet rumors, so please take it all with a grain of salt. Officially, the investigation is in very early stages. David has not been named a suspect. He hasn't even been taken in for formal questioning. And as his management says, he's been cooperating fully with authorities. Now, as a lot of different fans of David or just internet sleuths have pointed out, David kind of had a little tradition of posting music videos on her birthday, at least while they were in their alleged relationship. So it's speculated that David and Celeste first got into contact in 2021 when Celeste was either 10 or 11 years old. By 2022, there are so many Discord messages and pictures of them together on social media, signaling that's when they fully started their romantic relationship. On September 7th, 2022, Celeste turns 12 years old, and David releases the music video Romantic Homicide. That's the music video where he has these very cryptic lyrics. People have been pointing to these lyrics to indicate maybe David's lyricism wasn't purely artistic intention, but actual homicidal intention. But now I'm going to show you a little bit more of those lyrics and that music video and dissect that. And I'm just speculating here that those lyrics and that music video being released on Celeste's 12th birthday was a gift to let Celeste know that he had finally found somebody who didn't mind he had an incredibly violent and obsessive type of love that might result in a romantic homicide. The next year, 2023, Celeste turns 13, and David releases 4 music videos on her birthday. 3 of them are lyric videos, and one of them is the animated music video for Rehab that has been making the rounds on social media. Because again, there is a romantic interest for David in the music video that bears resemblance to Celeste being violently murdered. And this time, because it's a cartoon, the imagery is a lot more visceral and disturbing. On September 7th, 2024, Celeste would have turned 14. But we don't know if she celebrated with anyone because at that point, she had been reported missing for 5 months. David does not release anything on her birthday that year. And now that brings us back to this year, where Celeste's body is decomposing in David's Tesla trunk on her 15th birthday. And if the reports are to be believed that this car was just left sitting on the street and then impounded, I have to wonder if David didn't plan for this to be his last release for Celeste.